Hey, Miles. Congrats on the win, on the late notice win. First off, what happened to your coach? I mean, you said he was suspended. We don't know anything about that. What happened?
Yeah, I'm not really sure of the details about what exactly happened. They just called him last night and said that he was unable to corner me today. So I'm sure you guys will be finding out what's going on soon enough, as will I. But it was just kind of, for me, I wasn't worried about the details in that moment. It's just kind of a rug being pulled out from under your feet, at the fight night, pre-fight night dinner, So yeah, there was a little bit of adversity with that, but we're here now. We got the dub. It's all good.
When that happens, I mean, and especially in your case where you've been struggling, and you referenced in the octagon your confidence wasn't there. How do you approach it? Like obviously this is the guy that you went to specifically to help you get turned around, and now he's not there at the last moment.
Yeah, I let myself feel all the emotions and let all the thoughts go through my head. I don't try to hide from any of that. Like immediately I'm like, oh shit. What are we going to do? Like, we're still fighting? Oh, of course we're still fighting. Like, are we going to get somebody else in? No, it's too late to get somebody else in. Just the whole process of what we're going to do, I let myself feel the nerves and feel the anxiety, and I just tell myself that's normal. At the end of the day, and I got my brothers here and my pops here and my wife is here as well, and they're telling me the same thing. They're like, Chop, you've been doing this for as long as I can remember. Like it's fine to feel that way, but you're just going to go out there and you're just going to do your thing. And that's what I just keep reminding myself of. It's all right if you're nervous, all right, you're anxious, just go out there and do your thing.
What is it like in between rounds? Because, giving advice in a 1 minute thing is tough, right? You've got a compressed period of time. You got to give advice to you. Like, what was that like as they're giving you advice in between the first and second and third? Like, did that work out good for you?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, my brother Elijah probably communicates that better than Krause and I would have been able to this fight, just because I haven't been with him that long, and I've been fighting with EJ for, a decade now. So I think that he was even able to communicate the advice a little bit quicker and a little bit more thoroughly than anybody would.
And was there a big change in sort of the plan, like that, from your former team to your new team that you would have done? Were you doing things differently than you had in the past?
I was working on a lot of new stuff, but when you get a fight 2 weeks notice, all that new stuff that you're in the middle of goes out the window. And it's like, okay, first of all, can you make weight? Yeah. I said, yeah, there's a rule that you always just say yes. I was like, oh yeah, no problem. But in the back of my head, I was like, I hope I'm not in over my head. But that's the first thing. And then we just go back to what we did all the time. We're going to have to win this fight, how we've won 13 other fights.
Hi. I just want to follow up real quick on something he said. When you say that they called your coach and said he can't be in the cornering you, was it the UFC or the commission? Do you know?
I honestly don't know. I really don't know what all is going on or what happened. I just heard he wasn't able to corner me.
And then moving on from that, how does it feel to be back in the win column?
It feels great. It feels really good. I'm hard on myself. That was not the performance that I wanted. I thought the perfect cap for this story would have been like another highlight reel knockout, but can't have those every time. So I feel good to be back in the win column, but I'm definitely hungry to get back to work and fix some things that I want to fix.
So what were some surprises in there for you? You said you wanted to go in there and get the highlight reel. Were there things that you kind of had to adjust in there?
Yeah, my timing wasn't all there, and that I kind of accredit to the camp. I kind of accredit to him and his preparation, but I just felt like I was having a hard time finding him and some of the things that I normally can find people at. So yeah, I'll go back. I'll look at the tape and see what was going on and move on and fix those things.
And you mentioned short notice, and always wanting to say yes to a short notice. A lot of fighters say that they prefer that because then they don't have to sit around and think about an opponent for too long. They don't have to think about a fight for too long. It sounds like maybe you don't like that, or what's your philosophy now that you've done it?
Well, I would love I think that is a factor. I would much rather have a 4-week short notice fight rather than when my last fight was almost 4 months that I knew about the fight prior. So that's a long time to live in that area you are in your mind, especially for my family. I have a fight on the books for 4 months, and I'm not always the friendliest guy when I have a fight on the books, so I would prefer something like that over that. But there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's limits to that. I don't if you need only 2 weeks notice because you think about it too much, well, I don't, maybe you're thinking too much. I don't know. So maybe a little longer than 2 weeks, but I'm not complaining. Like I'm just blessed to be here. I was super grateful for the opportunity. I was not going to complain about the opportunity to anybody else. Just in the back of your head, there's always those thoughts. Like, oh, 2 weeks. Hopefully you'll still be in shape if after you cut all this weight, blah, 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 all that stuff.
Pretend that you had the 4 weeks or the 6 weeks or however long and the same opponent and you had Krause in your corner. How different do you think this fight would have gone?
I don't want to take anything away from Vince. He's been in there with a lot of guys, a lot of high caliber guys. Song Yadong, his last fight, Jonathan Martinez. He's got a lot of solid wins in the UFC too. So I think some of that was just his preparation, and he knew the right hand, and he was moving well. He's reaching the peak of his athletic career, 31 years old. That's a good time for athletes. So some of that was him, but all the right circumstances. We fight 10 times. Maybe I catch him like 7 out of the 10. And tonight was one of those 3 that I didn't catch him, but still got the win.
And what's next for you? When do you want to fight again? You have an opponent in mind?
Amin Zahibi, I think would be a great matchup. I know Guido Canetti, I think is how you say his name, is coming off a couple big knockouts. So, and there's other guys out there too. But some those 2 guys I had in mind just off tops. But I don't know when exactly I want to get back in. But I would love to get 3 in 2023. I'm ready to really string some wins together and make my run.
And what's the ideal length for a fight camp?
Give me 6 weeks.
Thank you.
Do we know with Krause's situation, was it just this fight that they said they couldn't use it? Is he still in communication with them? I mean, what do we know about that situation?
I honestly I don't know any details except that I wasn't going to be able to have him here tonight.
Yeah. What was the particular game plan for him coming in tonight for Vince?
I mean, when we got the call, it was, like I said, it was like 2 weeks notice, so we didn't really have time to game plan. It was just like, let's just sharpen up. Let's make sure we're feeling fast. Let's try to get our cardio sharpened up real quick. Let's just do all these things real fast so that we're ready for the fight night, and we're just going to have to go out there and fight how you've always fought. So we were working on some things prior to that, but we just didn't have enough time to really put those things into play there in the octagon.
Yeah, and it looked like you were definitely trying to push the pace and trying to put the pressure on him. Was that just you trying to make sure that you were controlling where the fight went out there?
Yeah, after the first round, when I realized that my timing wasn't as there as I would like it to be, I just told myself, I just need to win this freaking fight. I got so much on the line right now, I just need to win this fight. And I was here in my corner, and they're telling me the same thing. So, yeah, I could have ideally maybe pushed forward a little bit more, but I was trying to make sure I did enough to just get this dub and move on.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Right back here. When you mentioned the weight cut and obviously only the 2 week notice, but how much did you actually have to cut? Was it a hard cut for you?
It was challenging. When I got the call, it was 15 days out, and I was about 164. So it was it was about almost a 30-pound cut, and I'm not a huge guy, so that was kind of a lot of weight off. And like I said, I'm not complaining or making any sob story or nothing like that, but and there was also a time where I was doing what I thought I needed to do to lose the weight, and I normally would have been shedding off, and it was just kind of staying still for 4 days. So I was like, what the heck is going on? But then eventually it started fading off, and we got it done, and here now.
And then the entrance music, the Alan Parsons Project, that Chicago Bulls music,
hey,
that
man.
a deliberate, I'm the GOAT, you got to get psyched up for that?
I mean, I'm not the GOAT yet, but that's my thing, that one gets me in my zone, and this was just all about me being me, and it doesn't matter what the circumstances is. I'm gonna go out there and do my thing. So,
all right, man. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I just have one follow-up to that.
Yeah.
When you get a short notice fight, what's the first thing that you think about? Is it the weight or the opponent before you decide if you're going to take it or not?
First, it's just the excitement of, oh, I got to fight. Yes, got to fight. And then of course the wife is the voice of reason. She's but who is it? What do they do? So then we think about that. Okay, where's your weight? So it's just a process. But for me, I'm just immediately, I'm just yes, I get to fight, because I truly do love fighting, So I was just excited about that. And then we thought about the opponent, then we thought about weight, and yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.